Hey family, Dad here. Hope you're having a great day. On this video, I just wanted to talk about the fastest interview process during this 2025 job search that resulted in an offer. So as you know, in a previous video, I talked about, I'm applying for roles again. It's about time. And one of the roles I applied through the company's website back on February 8th. I saw the original job rec on LinkedIn, and then just to confirm it, I went to the company's website to see if that job rec is actually real, and it was. So I applied for it on February 8th, and then the morning of the 14th, Valentine's Day, 8 a.m., literally, I got a phone call from a recruiter. She was a third-party recruiter who was working on this job, hired by the company to fill for this role. We talked about the role in detail and then my background for about 20-30 minutes. And then she said that the company is interviewing candidates in Chicago next week. I was like, oh, okay. Wow. Pretty quick. And that, in fact, she wanted me to talk with the hiring manager later on that day just to see if we could move you forward the following week into Chicago. So after our conversation, I just went on my normal day. Later in the morning, I received an email from the recruiter who said that the hiring manager wants to speak to me later this afternoon. So I agreed, around 1:30 we would talk. And then an hour later, I get another email saying that the recruiter emailed me saying that, in fact, they just want to move me on to Chicago. So do you have Wednesday or Thursday available? I was kind of surprised, especially how quick they were moving. And so I just said, you know what, I'll go Thursday to Chicago. So I booked it all that night, but before that, I received a text around 1:30, 2 o'clock that day from the hiring manager. He was just seeing if we could talk. And so 5 minutes later, after I saw the text, I gave him a call. And in fact, we remember each other. So he interviewed me on a previous company in a previous role back in the fall. He said he remembered me. And the story was from that previous meet that we had, he moved me on to the next level of the interview process with that old company. And after that interview, I never heard back from the company or the hiring manager. And so shockingly, fast forward to this interview, he remembered me. He said, we don't need to do a face-to-face. I remember you. I'm just going to move you on to Chicago on Thursday. So I said, great, look forward to it. And talk more about the role. Now, he did say that it was him and another colleague of his that's going to interview me for a panel interview face-to-face for the first hour, and then the second hour there'll be another leader coming in and again interviewing me for the final, I think, hour. So after that call, I went back, got back to the recruiter and just told the recruiter the whole situation. And then on the following Monday, I got in touch with the third party company that's handling all the traveling arrangements, the logistics, and I got my flight for Wednesday late, coming into Chicago at midnight, and then staying at the airport and hotel airport, and then the next morning, next afternoon actually, interviewing with the hiring manager, a colleague of his, and then another leader within the company. So the two interviews went great in my mind. A lot of, again, introductories, talking about my background, talking about my skill sets, talked about Starbase interviews. They did have a little additional information, study and information that they wanted to discuss as well. It was more data analytics. And so they gave me some homework to prep before the interview, which I did. And we talked about it for about 15, 20 minutes. And then after that, we went into kind of my background, my skill sets, Starbase questions. And then I was able to ask some questions as well. And then I closed them on the opportunity. And then I waited about 10 minutes for the next interviewer to come in, another leader within the company. And we talked again for about 30, 40 minutes in the same style, just backgrounds, each other's backgrounds, Starbase questions, skill sets. So after that interview process, I felt pretty good. I felt pretty confident going back home that night. Reached out to the recruiter and let them know how it went, and thanked the recruiter for the opportunity, and let me know whenever you hear back as far as feedback. So that was on the 20th, and then on Tuesday the 25th, I got a call from the hiring manager, and left a voicemail. And then about an hour later, I called back, and he offered me the job. He gave me a verbal offer. We agreed to the terms and conditions. Looking at the terms and conditions and the benefits, this is an amazing company as far as the benefits. The healthcare insurance coverage is amazing as far as what the out-of-pocket is for me. It's the lowest it's ever been. I usually do a high deductible health plan, and I think this company is like every month for me and my kids is like $1 per month for the high deductible health plan with like a $2,000 deductible to be met for an individual, and then $4,000 deductible as a family. So it was like, I've never heard those types of that type of coverage or out of pocket before. So that was pretty surprising as well. So on the 25th, I accepted it. I signed the offer. I'm going through the background check right now, which I should clear because I've cleared all the other background checks. Not once have I ever failed a background check. So fingers crossed, I assume it'll be the same. And it's crazy looking back how this whole process only took 17 days from the time I applied for the role to getting a verbal offer. And I wish in some parts that this is how fast interview processes would take. And I know it's not a perfect world. I get that. I've been through some interview processes that take months, and then I ran into this one, which only took 17 days. I don't think I've ever been through an interview process that took from the day I applied to I get a verbal offer within 17 days. So tell me your thoughts. What was the quickest interview process that you've ever had with an offer? Comment, like, subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it. So that's all I got. I'll keep you posted and see what happens.